Hello, my creative mystic friend. This is Deepa Lou, and I'm the creative mystic, and I ring this bell to awaken you to the divine presence that's within you 24/7. And I'm so grateful today to have you here with me because you are, transforming your own energy and the energy of the planet by being here. Today we're going to talk about, why I like to get up so early in the morning when it's still dark out and people are still asleep. If you're tuning in, you must consider yourself a mystic or creative, or maybe a creative mystic just like me, where you really find the importance of creativity and spirituality, because I find they're the two most important things, and the two things that awaken my joy and awaken, like my positive, uplifting, divine energy that's within me, that flows through me. And it's within you and flows through you. So, if you consider yourself a spiritual seeker, a creative, and if you're listening to this, you must consider yourself that, you most likely are highly sensitive, especially as a mystic or spiritual seeker. As you're on the path longer and longer, sometimes you go, oh, I feel like I'm getting more sensitive. And it's not that you're getting more sensitive, it's that you're becoming aware of the sensitivities that you have, of being in the human body. Most people are operating, being like kind of numb to what's going on. And the more you like embrace your creativity and the mysticism of this yourself being a spiritual being, in this human body, you start to become aware of the things that you're sensitive to, in the sense of good, in good ways, and also ways where it might be affecting you in some downward pulling energy, in what we would call a negative way, okay? So that's one of the reasons why I get up so early. If you're highly sensitive, if you're a creative mystic, if you're a mystic or highly creative, you will notice the energies around you more. Notice the energy in people more. Notice the energies in things more. And so I want to share with you one of my favorite little statues, my favorite little spiritual reminders. And I love the energy of this little baby Buddha. And what I love about it is it always reminds me of joy. Look at its face. It's so cute. And whenever I sit down, it's sitting right on my altar, and I look at this little baby Buddha, it just immediately like, I can feel the joy awakening in my heart. So even if I wake up kind of feeling tired or a little blah, just because maybe I didn't sleep enough, for this body, because there's infinite energy all around us, and the more I remember that, the more energy I have. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. If you stop thinking about how tired you are, and you think about the infinite, all of a sudden, I'll feel a surge of energy. So anyway, my little baby Buddha is something that reminds me of the inner joy that's within me all the time. So I hope you can find, doesn't have to be a Buddha, but your little baby Buddha that reminds you of your joy, so that when you enter into your spiritual space, you immediately connect with one of the aspects of the divine. And that's one of the things I love about getting up early. And it's one of the benefits that you get when you get up early as a highly sensitive person, is you can feel the energies around you more. You can feel your own energy more, which is really important when, if you're an empath or highly sensitive person. I'm an empath. So if you're highly sensitive or an empath, and you have any little bits of codependency, you will find that you're like, going to, and you're wondering, what is she doing? But what happens is, if you get in other people's energies, what's happening is pretty soon you're over here doing what they want. Not because they're bad people, but because you're sensitive and you can feel something that energy is going there. And then maybe somebody else's energy or something else happens, and you're like, ooh, and you're going over here. And so when you get up early in the morning, you get the opportunity to center yourself in your own energy, and most importantly, what's true in your heart. I put my hands on your heart. I ask you to put your hands on your heart. And take that moment in the morning when nobody's around, when everybody's asleep. That means your energy is like, not as strong because they're sleeping. Their energy is kind of withdrawn within them. And when you can be up and centered in your heart's desire of what's true for you, you can go out in your day and not feel like you're being pulled off track. But because you'll know what's true for you, like what is it that you desire? What is it that's true for you to do for today? Because, as I'm holding, bring this little Buddha, the other thing this reminds me of is that Buddha's saying, today is a new beginning. What matters most is what you do today. And if you're highly sensitive or an empath, you're a creative mystic, because I'm telling you, if you're a mystic or a spiritual seeker or creative, highly creative, it's very easy to be pulled off center, if you're not strong in your center. And when you get up early in the morning and just be with your own energy and with the divine, because the divine wants you to be in your center, in the truth of what you're here to do on this planet. You won't be so easily swayed into other people's energy and doing what their desires are, as opposed to what's true in your heart of what you desire to do. Okay, so that's the first benefit, and one of the most important if you're highly sensitive or an empath. The other thing, as a mystic, if you get up early, before 6 o'clock, when it's still dark, I like to get up around 5:30. Sometimes I get up earlier. It all depends what's going on. But I like around 5 is my time. That's usually early enough for you waking up before everybody's getting up and running around. Is when I meditate before then, I have deeper connection to the divine presence. Whether I'm chanting or meditating, I find the connection is deeper. There's not all the noises going on, less distractions, because what happens when you hear this, so you hear that, right? You're curious, right? Even though you may not be getting up and going and doing something, your curiosity can get piqued, right? What are they doing? What's going on? Or if it's not the curiosity, it's even, I wish that wasn't that noise, that can be happening because it's disrupting your focus. And so when you get up and it's quiet, it's easier to focus. And then that ease, you start to train your mind and your ability to focus. And focusing your attention, on what you desire, on that deep spiritual connection, makes it easier for you to focus when you go out in the world, because you've practiced. Anything you practice, right, you get better at. And so when you practice, when it's easy, like to focus on something, either you're chanting or your prayers or meditation or whatever it is you do in your daily practice, that focus becomes a habit, that muscle becomes stronger, and then you can do it more easily, maybe in the day. So then it helps you, if you're a spiritual entrepreneur, to focus when there's other noises going on, to stay focused on the actual big vision goal you have in your business and what you want to do in your purpose, and not let what seems like emergencies pull you off. Because as an entrepreneur or a spiritual entrepreneur, it can be really challenging to not let the practical things pull you in the direction, and you may forget why you're really doing your business, or why you're really doing what you came here to do, whether it's a business or not. So that's the second benefit you get from rising early before, is that deeper connection. And the third one is, there's something about the energies on the planet that are different, the spiritual energies, especially if you wake up around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Now, I'm not telling you to get up at 3 or 4 o'clock, but if you have a time that you wake up, sometimes I wake up at 3 or 4, and sometimes I decide to go back to sleep, and sometimes I'll decide, you know what, maybe Divine Mother's tapping at my door, that she has a special message for me. So sometimes I'll get up. when I wake up at that point, if I wake up then, and I'll actually come and do a sadhana. Now, I'm not telling you to get up at that time every day, and because you do need sleep, especially if you're in the physical body, unless you're, self-realized and enlightened, where you've mastered all of the abilities to connect with your higher power, with spirit, with God. You need sleep. So but if there's time, if you keep waking up at that time, sometimes it's spirit, it's Divine Mother saying, I've got a message for you. And so to pay attention to that. It's not always just because you can't sleep and you're too tense. And sometimes it is, but sometimes it's Divine Mother speaking to you. So, love to hear, do you ever wake up early in the morning, and have you ever stopped and spent time with, going to do your spiritual practices early in the morning, because it can really, make a difference on, again, practicing, focusing, practicing being in your heart's desire. Because as an empath or highly sensitive person, you may not even know what your heart's desire is because you're so used to everybody else's energy bombarding you that you might be foggy about, I know there's something, but I don't know what it is. So, it's one of the big benefits, if you're highly sensitive, of getting up early, spending that time alone with divine presence, all right? So I'd love to hear, what your biggest challenge is with knowing what your heart's desire is, or if you know it easily. And if you've tried this, getting up early, what your experience is, because I'd love to hear that, okay? So remember, greatness is within you. It's time to let it out. And your heart's desire is your greatness. Blessings. Have a miraculous day.